Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13 and has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings, and then I paint the rest. I was just sitting here thinking, I wonder if I could paint like a cartoon flower. Honestly, that's why I was kind of laughing. I don't even really know what that means. But I was just like, wonder if I could figure out something that would look like a cartoon. Anyways, that's for another day. I don't know how to figure out how to paint like a cartoon, but it'll be interesting. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that. So, today was a good day. Busy day. I wasn't feeling exactly my best, but as I keep reminding myself and keep saying that, I'm thankful that I'm here to complain about not feeling my best. And I say that with tears because, I have taken so many things over the years for granted. And you can take that granted. Anyway, with my little accent there, so it'll all work. I laugh at the way I say things sometimes. Anyways, anywho, going through cancer, surviving cancer, surviving your daily life, it's, none of us have that walk in the park. We all have a story to tell. We all have something going on in our lives. But we just need to keep moving forward. Keep taking those days, those moments, and just being kind to ourselves. Not worrying about every little detail. And I'm saying this for myself because myself doesn't always want to participate in being kind to itself. It's much easier for me to be kind to somebody else than it is to my own heart, So that's kind of one of those things that I have to work on in my own little moments. But we really need to be kind to ourselves and figure that out and stop being so hard on who we are and why. And it's just it can be so daunting sometimes. So I just try to say, you know what, here we are. So I've had a lot of people ask about how I paint. And quite honestly, I wonder sometimes myself. I didn't grow up painting. I didn't really, it wasn't something that I knew or even thought I could do. Like, I didn't know any of the rules. I didn't know how you paint. I didn't know, and I'm about to change my mind on this flower. um, you know, you just, I just kept going through the motions of learning how to paint. My friend encouraged me to paint with Owen, to work on his fine motor skills. She just suggested it one day, and I was like, okay, well, I can't paint. I can't paint, I told her. I said, I can't paint. And she told me, yes, you can. You can do every other craft. Why can't you paint? And I was like, okay, I can paint. Well, it didn't start out like that. It definitely started out with a huge learning curve. Still, honestly, I feel like I'm in a huge learning curve. But painting has changed my life. Painting has helped me share our journey with autism and now my journey with breast cancer. And for those that are asking me how I paint, I just do it. And I know that sounds like the smart aleck answer, but I don't have a real hard way, hard set way, I guess, of painting. I generally, when I'm using, or painting, I should say, flowers, I generally use one paintbrush, and I make squiggly lines by kind of just, this is a very thin brush. It's hard to read. It's an 00, and it's long and skinny, and I just keep putting a lot of paint on my paintbrush and mushing it around till I get something that resembles the shape I want, and then keep adding flowers on top of it. And you'll notice, like I said, very rarely do I ever change paintbrushes. And I like that because you can see colorations forming when I don't change. Like there's this color in there, and there's a tiny bit of the blue, like the egg robin's egg blue, and different things like that. So you can see when I squish this down, there's a red as I kind of turn it around. And that's what I like. I like that fact that you never know what it's gonna show or put out there. And so the continuation of colors, basically I put out two sets, or two colors per set of flower. 2 colors per flower, and then it intertwines with the rest of the colors. I hope that makes sense. But that's not a set in stone. When I'm making the flowers, I don't necessarily always stick with the 2 colors that I've put together as the flowers develop. So like if I have this flower and this flower, these are 2 different reds. One's more of a true red, and one's more of kind of a maroon red. And so I take those and just squish them together. But then, like, I used a peach and a golden yellow. So even though I'm using 2 colors, there's still more that I'll either put with it, or because I've used a previous set of colors, that it's going to change kind of when I'm doing this. So, like this one is the two different kind of teal aqua colors, and it has some yellow tones because of what I previously did. And like this one here is a gray purple and a bright purple. But again, that's not set in stone. I was going to say stuck in stone. But that's just kind of how I create these, I'm going to call them whimsical color flowers. And sometimes I like certain color combinations, and sometimes I'm like, that didn't work, or it's okay, or it'd be in nature, but it's not my choice. And you just keep going forward. Keep moving forward. So, and if you look at my bristles, there, when I pull up, you'll see they are all spread out. And it's a very thin, I mean, this is like how the brush starts. And so when I push down, when I go into that, it pushes everything kind of out. And you can see once again, there's the peachy orange, and then there's more of the teal blues from when I continued the process from before. I don't always wipe off the extra. It depends on what process or where I'm at. But like now I'm going to do some kind of fill in little sections, and they don't have to be in a specific style or something, but sometimes I'll just dot through whatever I'm working on, just to add a little extra depth and drama in the colorations and things. Sometimes I do it like that. Sometimes I just, let it be where it's at or done. So now, my two greens, one was more of like a, kind of a forest green, and the other one was like more of a, I forget the name of it. I think it's like a thicket, like just, it's almost a gray green. So, and I always tell myself to watch how many of these green little goblin thingies I do, but sometimes I get a little ahead of myself, and I do too much, or I should do more of a leaf. That is such a weird word to me, leaf. But there you go. So anyways, I hope that I'm going to continue to try to do a little bit more. That was a dot I dropped, and I thought it was a thing, but it's okay. We're just going to let it do its thing. I'm going to continue to try to do some more explanations of things as I go along, but hopefully that will help a little bit. So Owen had a really good day. He woke up this morning. He was so happy because it was school, school, and more school. And then we had a meeting for his program that we're on that helps him with his different kind of manages his therapies and different things like that. And then we went out to dinner with one of our friends that he just adores. And then we came home and he was very happy with his day. So that made me happy. This time change, he is not a fan because it's truly messing with his sleep schedule. Yesterday, he brought me, he takes different supplements throughout the day, and he brought me the container of his supplements, and he was like, Del Owen night night, and he still had like an hour and something. Bless his heart. It's just funny because I was always like, can I stay up all night? And he is like, I'm going to bed now. And I've tried to change it, which is not funny because he wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I've tried to change his bedtime, and I mean, he can do it occasionally where he's okay with being out late, but he truly wants bedtime when he wants bedtime. So there you go. I'm just going back through as it dries a little bit to see, like, sometimes when it dries, it changes its kind of appearance and its look. So I just want to add a little, like, detailing in the flower. Just as it dries, it will just like put more of a definition in the flower itself to make it kind of look like it's a flower. Like just in here, I'm gonna just lightly put, when you look at a flower, you kind of see those lines in the back and everything. So that's what I'm doing. But we are about done because I am about tired as well. That's when I know it's time to stop, right? Okay, so O for Owen, my amazing as I call him, and then L and B. He's almost as tall as I am now. He will be very shortly. I feel like he's grown a foot in the last 2 days, so who knows. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and being a part of our day. Toodles, toodles.